Hi everyone, welcome back to RTS and welcome back to a segment of Review the Supply, because today we are going to absolutely talk about the load event, and load stands for layout a day, and I'll talk more about that in just a minute. But I have some layouts here that I thought I would show as to how they came about through the load event, different things it is. And the load event is something that I immensely enjoy. It's my favorite challenge slash class that I participate in for the entire year for my scrapbooking, and it's just something I hope never goes away, because I think I literally would cry. I would, because it's just something I enjoy. And when I look back at my albums and my pages, I can tell which ones came from the load event, because I would not have came upon them on my own. And so I love that, and Alice does a tremendous job, and I'll just keep on talking about it. So if this is something you think you may not be interested in, please skip the video. However, if you think that you may be in a rut, or you're getting a little bored with what you're doing, or you want something a little different, I would seriously look at the load event, because that's what happened to me. Because in the beginning, and I'm talking several years ago, when the load event was happening, I'd be like, yeah, I don't have time to do a layout today, so I'm not even going to go there. And one day I won a prize, and it was the load event for February or something like that, or May. And then I was hooked. It was. So I'm going to talk about what the load event can be for you, what it doesn't have to be for you, and the rewards you can get from doing the load event. So I'm just going to talk, and so maybe just do something different for a little bit, and then I'll get into some layouts and we'll talk about that. Okay, so the load event, that the first one for 2019 is starting on February 1, and with the load event, which again stands for layout a day, you have to sign up before it starts, because once it starts, it's closed off, and you can't just jump in. Because the preface of this load event is for you to create a page every day during the month, for the whole month, in order to get in on a mega prize package. And they are mega prize packages. Yes, no, everybody would want to win one. And so if you want to go in with the approach that you are going to challenge yourself to do a layout a day, and I'm going to talk about what's the requirements of that, and you like competition and you want to push yourself, then that's what you should do. However, if you're kind of like me, if you get it done, you get it done. If you're not, no fuss, no muss. You can just use the load events. You can use the fellowship of fellow scrapbookers to be motivated, inspired, see what they're doing. Then that's how you can take the approach. It does not have to be done, layout a day to enjoy the event. The only thing you have to remember is, if you want in on that prize package, and I can tell you, there isn't a lot of people that get it done. So the chances of winning that prize package is pretty good, because it is hard to do a layout a day, create it, and then have it posted into a Flickr gallery. You have to do that within a 24-hour time period. And there are no exceptions. There's no excuses. If the dog chewed your cord, too bad. You have to have it done in 24 hours. And I love that, because you can't be a last minute Molly. You can't make excuses. There are no excuses. It's 24 hours from the day you get your prompt to get it loaded. Okay, and so again, it's that competition thing. Can you get it done? Okay, can you push yourself? And I think of all the years I've taken the load event, I think there's been, I'd say, 3 times that I have done a layout every single day in that month. But that's not my approach for it. Okay, if I do, I do. If I don't, that's not my approach. My approach is to get ideas and be inspired, and to hang around other fellow scrapbookers who are doing the same thing. It's just wonderful. Okay, so the one starting soon in just a few days is called Ruby Red Scissors, because there's always a theme. It's just always wonderful. And of course the tagline is, there's no place like home to scrapbook. Love that. Okay, yes. And so what you do is you sign up, and then you get a daily prompt with a video, and it explains what the prompt is, and then you can use the prompt to create a page, or there's also a technique prompt to do the page, or you have the option to do neither. You can just, say if you're working on a beach album, you can push yourself in the load event that you can work every day on that beach album, as long as you get one page loaded every single day of the month into the Flickr gallery. It can be on prompt, it can be on prompt, off prompt, but it has to be done promptly. Okay, you have to have it done within that 24 hours. But I do it, I sometimes lollygag, and sometimes I'll post day 3 on day 10. It's just, there's just people that like the competition, and there's other people who just want to play in the load event. Okay, so with the daily prompts, I'm going to talk about this. And I don't know if I've said about the price, but I'll just keep on talking. This top page is a part of the ScrapHappy membership page, not part of the load event, because in order to take the load event, you can buy it on your own or be a member of the ScrapHappy membership. And this was a layout that I done in the Christmas in January, which was through basically ScrapHappy membership. Okay, so I wanted to show that because there are benefits to just buying a load event on its own, and then there's a benefit to being part of the ScrapHappy membership. So the load event itself is $50 per event, okay, and it's done in February, May, and there's one in October, and sometimes there's a mini event through the year, a mini load event. But once you start paying 50 here and 50 there and 50 here and 50 there, well, you might as well just do the ScrapHappy membership, be done with it, and then you get all the other benefits that go along with being a ScrapHappy member. And you'll see there's movie night and there's other events, and yeah, Alice just does a tremendous job. So, and then you have a group of gals that are just amazing and so friendly and so kind. So if you're looking for maybe a little bit of a home place, a place to hang out, look into the ScrapHappy membership. So with the ScrapHappy membership, I'm just going to tell you that it is $149 for each year. But then after the first year, you get a discount, and it's only $99 for the year. Okay, but there are discount codes below. You can use that. And if you sign up through the ScrapHappy membership and use my code below, do you know that Alice gives that right back to me? Yes, she does. That's how awesome she is. She gives it right back to the gals who got the other gals to sign up. So I think that's great. And so, of course, those discounts go and apply towards my membership, which is $99. Now, how do I offset that? My ScrapHappy membership is one of my Christmas gifts each year, because to me, I think it's expensive because I won't spend any money on myself. But if I ask for it as a gift, then I don't think it's so bad. Okay, so that is how I do that. In my brain, that's how I offset that cost. And then since I know that my husband is paying for that, I try to make sure that I take part of the events through the year. So that's not going to waste. Okay, so that's just how I look at it that way. Okay, so the one coming up in February, Alice will give you a daily prompt, a video, say here's the prompt, here's a technique prompt, here's an idea, run with it, and you do what you want to do. And the reason I want to talk about the load event, because I love it so much, and I have a few layouts here that, like I said, I totally enjoy this event, because this is a page that in the load event, making connections is something I love to do, and you get a daily prompt and it makes you think about it a little bit. And this was one of them where I was on a reflective page of how I wanted to go back. Things that had happened before, I wanted to go back. So that was a load page. And then here's another one. This is another reflective page. And then also too, sometimes, and you'll see, it's not always reflective pages. It's not always story-based pages. Sometimes it's techniques, okay? And so again, this is another reflective page. And of course, it's baby. Oh, yes, okay? And this one was definitely inspired by load, and the inspiration was my title, Put a Pin in It. That totally came from the load event, so I liked how that happened. And then let's see, this one was another reflective, and I think this, not quite sure what the prompt was, but it was basically a reflective page. And I would say that's probably my favorite part of the load event is I take photos. This is just a photo of my mom and photo of my dad, but yet I made a layout that talked about her interest and his interest. Love how that turned out. And then this was from the load event, and this happened in May. I have a start to finish on this one. And this one, I love this layout because it was so simple. It used as scraps. The title and the prompt totally came from load. Never gonna give you up. Yes, that was a load prompt title. I would have never came up with that. And then also too, I scrapped book photos that I took on that very same day. Loved that. So you can take it that you do reflective pages, heritage pages, pictures you just took today. And again, this was another one, and I think this one was about something you get a good deal on, and I would have never created the page this way. And this is about our trips to Tuesday morning. It's not something local for us, so it's a big deal when we go. Love how it turned out. Got to play with some stickers and just love how it turned out, honestly. And then another one, the way the prompts are written in the technique prompts is such a great way to do some Disney pages rather than just being a Disney page. Okay, so I love that. And this one was oh, what was it? Oh, I think it was something I was missing or something. I don't know what the prompt was, but my title is An Empty Epcot Heart, and it was, again, all inspired from the Load event. Now, this one was definitely inspired from the Load event because I was the guest designer this day for the Load event. I think this was, yeah, in May. And so this was not only what we needed to do for the story prompt, but also technique prompt. And so this was basically something that you don't understand or something you live by. And for me, it is, how hard is it to simply be nice? That is my life quote. That is something I will never understand. And of course, we were supposed to use question marks in our page. And so then, of course, you were supposed to do it about yourself. And so, of course, I used my favorite jadeite green and flowers and black and white, of course, you know, about me. So I loved how that turned out. That was totally totally from the Load event. And then, of course, this one, I'm not quite sure what this was about, but I remember this was something to do with the Load event. And this was something that I was inspired by the Load event, but it didn't happen in one day because you see I have stitching. So it was an inspiration from the Load event, but then I didn't do it. I did it over a period of a couple of days. And that's what I wanted to say. You can do a layout a day, post it in the Flickr gallery within 24 hours every single day in the month, or you can get a daily prompt, look at it for 3 days, and play around with it for 3 days. It's totally how you want to do it. And there's also random prizes you can also win, even if you don't upload a layout every single day of the month. It's basically, you sign up for a Load event, you get some ideas, and then you decide how you want to do those ideas. It's totally up to you. Okay. The only thing I would say, and the only rule that is in the Load event, is that if you want in the mega prize package, you do have to do a layout every single day, and it has to be posted within 24 hours of getting that prompt. And again, no excuses. Yes, if you're not a deadline person, maybe give that a consideration. Okay. And so what else did I wanted to say? Some people would think, well, starting a Flickr gallery, it's really no big deal. You sign up, upload a picture, give it a title, give it a name. It's really nothing. Now, I will have to say, since I started doing a YouTube channel, I had to pare down. I can't spend time loading up into the Flickr gallery and then trying to work on a video. So I had to say, which one was I going to do? And so I told myself, if I'm going to try to do a video with the layout I'm doing, then I can't post it into the Flickr gallery. However, winning a prize package is not my incentive. My incentive is doing a page. Okay, I don't need to win a prize. I have enough pretty things to play with. But if you like competition, yeah, getting that layout done, yeah, there are some gals who really succeed at that. Okay, and so again, I just wanted to talk about the Load event. I get some questions about it. And I want to say that it's something that gets you out of your comfort zone, gives you something a little bit different, maybe some different ideas. And I would have to say the best thing I like is that I take photos in my layouts. I use photos that were leftovers from other pages, and I make connections. And sometimes it's pictures from events that you find a different title that you would never came up with, or maybe a different color combination. There's so many different technique ideas and different ways you can take it. And you can give a technique prompt to 200 people, and it's going to be done in 200 different ways. It's just funny how that works out. It's always nice to see the interpretations that other scrapbookers take when they're given a prompt, whether it's a technique or a story prompt. It's very, very fun. Okay, so I think that's all I have to say about the Load event. And if you have any other questions that I didn't answer, please ask below, and I will have all the information listed below that you can read more about it on your own. There's discounts, so please definitely save yourself some money if you're interested in that. There's one coming up in February. You have a couple days to sign up for it, and I know a couple of you are new to the Load. You have signed up for it, and I'm so excited for you because I hope you enjoyed as much as I do. And I've said this in one of my other videos. If Alice stopped doing the Load event, I would cry. cry. I absolutely would cry. I just think it's very inspiring, gets me out of my comfort zone. I get excited reading what that prompt is and then deciding, what photos, what title, and it's just something fun to do. And you don't have to spend 3 hours on your page. You can spend 30 minutes doing a quick page and loading it to the Flickr gallery. Okay, and then also I wanted to say, look into the ScrapHappy membership, because there is a lot of things that happen all year long in the ScrapHappy membership. It's not just load events, and I think some people don't understand that. It's just the home for the load event. How's that? Okay, so I think that's all I have, and also listed below will be a video where I did a load layout share, okay, and I will have that listed below. So if you have any questions, list below, and hopefully maybe I'll see you in class at the load event with our ruby red scissors. Yes, happily celebrating the Wizard of Oz. I'm anxious to see what these prompts are going to be. Okay, and it's just fun. It's just absolutely fun. Okay, so that's all I have for today. Come back to RTS, because you never know what we're gonna do. Bye.